How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. First Republic crisis is not an isolated incident, JP Morgan exec. An executive at JP Morgan Asset Management is unsure how United States regional banks are going to operate when the FDIC Corporation and Home Loan Bank emergency lending programs expire, warning that the possible collapse of the First Republic Bank may cause a domino effect. We're going to get into some of these other issues that are going on with these banks. Bob Michel, the Chief Investment Officer at JP Morgan, said that the impact of First Republic's liquidity issues caused by significant deposit outflows isn't just limited to the bank itself. Though they're attributing most of the issues to people not having enough money. As I say, the high price of everything just a significant factor of leading to the recent banking crisis. The bottom quartile of earners in the United States has been most punished and forced to deplete their deposit balances just to live, he said. So they're attributing the inflation to the banks having no money and losing money, not fractional reserve banking or anything. FDIC accuses Cross River Bank of unsafe lending practices. The FDIC seems to be increasing its scrutiny of crypto-friendly banks. The institution sent a cease and desist order to Cross River Bank to self-correct and properly address the vulnerabilities in its lending operations. Not anything to do with its crypto operations. On April 28th, the FDIC released a consent order executed by Cross River Bank back in March. The financial institution, well known for its services to various fintech and cryptocurrency companies, was accused of engaging in unsafe or unsound banking practices related to its compliance with applicable fair lending laws and regulations. Of these regulatory breaches were outlined in the 2021 report. Its report reveals that Cross River Bank failed to establish and maintain internal controls, information systems, and prudent credit underwriting practices. Following the assessment of its current framework, the bank is required to implement processes that will help them avoid any reoccurrence of these infringements for the future. Additionally, they are required to tender a fair lending resource study, which is required to be done by a third party. It is, however, noteworthy that Cross River Bank did not admit or deny any wrongdoing. In fact, the CEO, Giles Gade, issued a statement the day before that the regulatory body punished the consent order, emphasizing that the bank maintains the highest levels of compliance, albeit without mentioning these allegations. According to a separate Wall Street Journal report, Cross River spokesperson said the FDIC action has nothing to do with the cryptocurrency or payments business activities. Instead, it is related to their lending practices from 2021. Federal Reserve is destroying regional banks and will nuke American economy, says Robert Kiyosaki. And all my highlights decide to go away. So, Robert Kiyosaki is saying that the country's regional banking sector is going to see more. The worst is yet to come. He's saying that the Fed is destroying regional banks across America and that this is a plan to help kill regional banks and give the power to the bigger banks. He says by only supporting big banks like JP Morgan, the Fed is wiping out regional banks. Cruel regional banks are the heart and soul of America. Please support small banks and small businesses. So he's saying that this is basically an attack on our small businesses, and only the bigger companies will end up surviving if they keep taking control of these smaller banks. So, onto the charts. Bitcoin dominance is starting to waver. We're getting a stochastic bearish cross. RSI is not really going anywhere. Momentum starting to curl. Money flow struggling to get a new high. And our VWAP is overall heading down still. Over on our total, we are getting a green dot. Money flow is trying to stay bullish. Our stochastic is trying to stay bullish as well, so our RSI is trying to point upwards. So we might get a little bit of strength in our altcoins here if we keep knocking on this resistance. Over on Bitcoin, we did slightly go up today. I kind of redrew the triangle. but it's still there. We'll look on the lower time frames. RSI is pretty flat. Stochastic's still continuing to curl. Our money flow is pretty flat, and our momentum is starting to curl as well. Over on the 4 hour, we are getting a red dot that could confirm soon. Our stochastic overall is slightly tapering out. Our RSI is tapering out. Our stochastic's getting close to a cross that could bring us down. VWAP's pointing down. Our money flow is trying to inch upwards, but it's overall starting to curl, so we may lose some steam here. Over on the 2 hour, if we zoom out, you can see our volume profile. This is a very strong area, a key level. If we break above it, we could get above to these higher levels and hit the high value area again. But if we break below it, then it's likely we'll hit the value area low on our way down. RSI is kind of curling over, stochastic's starting to fall, momentum's starting to fall with the red dot that confirmed on the 2 hour, and we're seeing that start to carry into the 4 hour. Our VWAP is pointing upwards, so we're not looking very good here. Over on the 1 hour, our stochastic is falling, but it's trying to make a bullish cross. RSI is falling and pointing downwards. Our money flow is trying to stay bullish, but it's struggling. It was bearish most of the day. And our VWAP is starting to curl off, so be wary of some downwards action. We could make a bullish cross and then just kind of flop back over. We do have a manipulation X. These other manipulation X's didn't really take us anywhere, so it's likely soon one of them is going to play out. The more you get, usually the more will happen. You see back here, they're not always a sign we're going down. We had a bunch of manipulation and we wound up shooting up. So it's not always a sign you're going to go down, but most of the time you do go down. So check out the futures real quick. Nothing real new. So we'll jump over to graph here. We did fall back out of this pattern again. Momentum's starting to fall away. Money flow's starting to fall away. Stochastic's starting to fall away. Our RSI is starting to fall away. So overall, we're starting to fall away from this pattern, which isn't too good for us. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic's getting a bearish cross and starting to fall. RSI is starting to fall. Momentum's got a bearish cross and starting to fall. VWAP's starting to fall. Money flow's curling downwards under that neutral zone. And our momentum is coming down with that red dot that confirmed. So the 4 hour is not looking too good here. Over on the 2 hour, stochastic's starting to fall pretty hard. RSI is losing strength. Money flow is getting close to breaking bearish. Our VWAP is trying to head up and our momentum is trying to curl up. So we do have that going for us, but we could easily start to curl away as well. Over on the 1 hour, you see our VWAP struggling to get above that neutral zone. Money flow did go bullish, but is struggling to go anywhere. Stochastic's got a bullish cross, but if the money flow and momentum doesn't come in, we may not get a raise up. Our RSI is pointing down. Our momentum was trying to curl, but starting to head back down. So not the best look. We would need some sort of green dot and a curl to help bring us upwards. Over on Anchor, I think we had a gap there on the 1 hour. We'll have to visit that. We are kind of just trading in this range, very similar to how graph looks. Our stochastic is starting to make a bearish cross and point down. RSI is pretty flat. Our money flow is starting to point downwards, and in this bearish zone, our momentum is struggling to really go anywhere. It is slightly starting to curl, so we could see a red dot form if we don't get some bullish push upwards from here. Over on the 4 hour, our momentum is starting to fall pretty sharply and come back downwards, so we're getting a little bit more downwards pressure on momentum on the 4 hour. Stochastic's really tight, tried to go bullish, but it looks like it's going to go bearish on us. Our RSI is pretty flat. Our VWAP rejected crossing bullish and is pulling away from the neutral zone. So overall, the 4 hours not looking too good for Anchor. Over on the 2 hour, our stochastic is falling. RSI is pretty flat. Our money flow is trying to hold its ground just above that neutral zone, so if it can curl upwards, that would be a positive for us. Our VWAP's trying to go upwards through that neutral zone. We'll have to see if it can manage to break. We do have a bearish divergence, but we also have a bullish divergence, so a bunch of conflicting signals here. Our momentum is trying to curl up, but it does have a red dot that printed, so that is bringing us down currently. Finally, on the 1 hour here for Anchor, we are getting a bullish divergence on our momentum that could help push us up. Our money flow was bearish most of the day, but we are trying to break bullish, so if we can go bullish on our money flow, we could get some momentum forward here with this cross as well. Our stochastic is trying to make a bullish cross, but our RSI is starting to curl, so our RSI is going to need to curl back up with this stochastic pushing forward, and the money flow is going to need to start to come in. The VWAP's kind of flat just above the bullish zone, so that's a little weak as well. So watch in case we start to flop over. We did. Thought we had a gap on the 1 hour on Anchor. Hold on, let's zoom back in real quick. Yeah, we did have a gap, but it did fill, so nothing we can do. We might come back and touch it again and then push forward from it. Over on XRP, on the daily, we're starting to get a bit of a rounding pattern here as we had a doji candle and we're getting a red candle afterwards. RSI is pointing down, stochastic's starting to curl. VWAP's curling, money flow's starting to curl and getting close to the neutral zone, so it could go bearish. And our momentum is starting to curl out as well after trying to get some bullish momentum. Over on the 4 hour, our RSI is pointing downwards. Stochastic is trying to make a bullish cross, or bearish cross, sorry. So stochastic's going to start to lose. RSI is going to keep following. Our momentum is really low with a red dot that could confirm, so that could bring us down. Our VWAP is heading down, so we're not looking too good on the 4 hour here. On the 2 hour, our stochastic is crossing down. Our RSI is pointing down but trying to curl and flatten out. Our money flow is coming out. Our VWAP's trying to push up. It is pretty well into the bearish zone, so it is trying to come back up. We'll have to see if it can keep its momentum. Otherwise, we are pretty bearish for the medium term. Momentum's pretty well into the bearish zone as well, and it looks like it could continue to head down. It's kind of hard to tell without seeing the other shade of blue right now. Over on the 1 hour, you see that momentum's more curling. That's why I like to see both shades, so you can see what the other shade's doing, because the lighter tends to, or the darker tends to curl before the lighter. Our stochastic is trying to get a bullish curl and cross, so we could get some push up if we get some momentum. VWAP's trying to head upwards. Our RSI is pretty flat. Our money flow is flat above the neutral zone at about 10, so that is okay. But we're going to need to see this continue and bring our other time frames into more of a bullish setting. Over on Algo, we're pretty much rejecting away from this triangle again. We may end up filling this wick down here, at which point we could end up breaking into this lower area that I warned about if we don't get some momentum. Stochastic's starting to make a bearish cross. RSI is starting to point downwards. Our money flow is heading back down, and our momentum is starting to kind of curl away just like everything else, so not too good here. Over on the 4 hour, our stochastic is trying to kind of diverge away. It was trying to make a bullish cross, but it's got a bearish divergent cross, so it could bring us lower. RSI is starting to overall curl downwards. VWAP's rejecting. Our money flow is struggling to be anywhere in the bullish territory, and our momentum is heading down with a red dot that invalidated a green dot, so not too good on the 4 hour here. Over on the 2 hour, our money flow is in the bearish territory, but it is trying to curl back up, so we are trying to retest bullish. VWAP is trying to head up. Stochastic's really beat down, and our RSI is kind of flattening out. Our momentum is trying to curl after getting a red dot, so we're going to have to see if that momentum can curl up and come upwards. Finally, on the 1 hour, stochastic's trying to get a bullish cross here. Money flow is trying to cross neutral, so we'll have to see if that can become bullish in the next few candles. Our RSI is starting to point down because it doesn't have much strength, and our momentum's starting to curl up. We are kind of forming a bit of a divergence. Not really. Yeah, actually, our price is going lower as momentum comes higher. And that is a slight bullish divergence, so that could help bring us up. So we do have that going for us. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.